Know, O Prince, that between the years when the oceans drank Atlantis, and the gleaming cities, and the years of the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of. Well, hello. Welcome to World of Conan. And we got the Brothers Krynn, or at least one of the brothers. We're talking about crowdfunding his book, Brotherhood of the Gemstone,
Yep.
and the Indiegogo campaign of that. There's also going to be a Fund My Comic page of that, and I think a Kickstarter page.
Yeah, I gotta make the changes to that because you and a few other people gave me a lot of great advice. So I applied it with the Indiegogo, and I still have to apply it to Kickstarter. I've been a little lazy on that front. Shame on me. Because I'm back in school, and between work, school, and trying to market this, it's been a little busy and hectic. But yeah, Fund My Comic, I just have to wait. I already did the changes. Luke Stone just has to approve. So yeah, I believe it'll be up on Monday, I think, but I don't quote me on it. I'm not sure.
But the Indiegogo is up, so everyone can go there and back it. And we're gonna show it on here as well, obviously, so people can get to see what the campaign looks like.
Yeah, purse.
And all the perks and everything. But first of all, I think it would probably be good to talk about what is this book? And
it's a book. I'm joking.
No way. Really? I thought it was a video game.
Yeah, I wish. I do mean that. I wish. Actually,
oh man, imagine a Conan RPG game
my gosh,
like a Conan Skyrim, or
I so need that in my life.
You could go to all these lands, Stygia and Kitai and.
I was thinking for a minute something with like the Tales of Symphonia gameplay, both Conan and the Hyborian Age.
I would like the first person or third person.
Yeah, maybe God of War style or something with Conan. I don't know.
But I would like on RPG where you wouldn't be limited. Like, oh, you have to go here, you have to go there.
Yeah.
You could traverse anywhere you want. Everything's open world.
Yeah, like in Zelda with except that Colonia,
right,
and the other part of the board. Oh man,
that would be amazing. That will be amazing. Hopefully someday.
Yeah.
But back to the book, Brotherhood of the Gemstone. So this is the one you're crowdfunding for. It's going to be published by, I think it was Defiance Press. And they're going to come out with it. What's the estimated time frame?
It would be next year. It could be anything between, between 5 and 8 months.
Right.
Well, from the first deposit. So currently I'm, if I can get lucky, I'll try to get, it's just I've got some air miles from years ago I'm reimbursing, and I'm doing everything I can to try to gather a bit of cash and also borrow a bit. So if I can, I'd probably pay it in advance and then still use the crowdfund to pay the rest and reimburse send people the perks, basically. But that's if all goes well. Or if I get a grant, I'll use the grant and reimburse everyone and still send them the perks, because why not? But that's if I'm insanely blessed by God. But if I have to go, well, the crowdfund, if all goes well, I'll be depending on that. And that would hopefully get me, let's say I get all the money for, like, let's say $3,000 for USD for, let's say middle or late November. Well, that would be November, December, January, February, March. So around March to, maybe June, thereabouts. We'd be looking at that. I would be expected to do 3 author tours through, I think, the US and the UK. They have that as a package or something. I would get access to their vastly superior marketing team to my own abilities. They're vastly superior to me in that capacity. But it'll take me a few months to edit according to their specs and their editors, because they have to edit the book. And the book's a large 800-page volume, thereabouts. So they've got to edit that over the course of, I think, a month or two. Just go through it, red line it, highlight what grammatical errors I did, and I probably made a lot, and also offer corrections and alternative ways of wording things. I then got to reword things, fix the grammar and whatnot, send it back to them. They then check to see, then they send it back to me. I revise it again, and then it's okayed. But this could take maybe a month or two, and then they got to format it, they got to market it, they got to plan things. So yeah, ETA
sounds good.
Yeah, hopefully March to June. I would prefer March, to be honest. I want to try to get it out there for March.
Yeah, obviously.
And that way I could do at least one tour before I leave for Japan, because I still want to kind of go there. I have a teaching agreement, but like I said, this is something that I would like to get for March no matter what, because this way, the sooner the better.
So it sounds like it's going to be in good hands, though. So
yeah, Defiance Press are a pretty large publishing company. I'm surprised at how large they are. I have a friend who used to work in publishing. He retired 10 years ago, and he's told me, "Oh, Defiance, I know them. They're really good. They're big. Nice work."
That's awesome. So let's get back to the book, The Brotherhood of the Gemstone. So tell us a bit about the book. What is it about?
It's about a young boy called Cormag, who's a fisherman. His mother doesn't like the sea because his father seemingly died at sea during a sea storm. Well, it was a stormy night. He went off to go fishing, apparently, was swept away by the seas, and seemingly died. So Cormag was kind of seemingly without a father for 10 years. But he loves the sea. He loves fishing. His mother hates it. But then one stormy night, on the 10th anniversary of his dad's seeming death, his dad appears within the village, warning of the dangers and that lie on the island of Antilia to the northeast of Bretwalda. So suddenly the kingdoms of Bretwalda are in danger from a Dark Laird who desires the blood gem. And the blood gem is an immensely powerful jewel from another age. I kind of had a bit of inspiration from the Triforce from Zelda. And the idea is it'll basically grant the Dark Laird not simply just wishes, but it'll enhance his power immensely. And of course, Cormag's dad stole it away. He stole it in order to protect the world from this guy, but was mortally wounded, and brought it instinctively to his his best friend, whom Cormac was visiting. And the best friend is the local blacksmith, who's a bit of a mentor. So Cormac suddenly has this jewel thrust upon him and must now set out with a few friends of his to try to find a way to get rid of the gem. And along the way, they meet some friendly fairies, some unfriendly fairies, a mercenary hero by the name of Bardolph.
Aren't they all unfriendly?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a basic hero's journey. It's a coming of age story. But what I decided to do is that each of the friends of Cormac has their own hero's journey. I took inspiration from Star Wars on that front. Cormac himself is kind of inspired by Luke Skywalker, as much as he is to an extent from Frodo and Samwise Gamgee. So, and I decided that instead of the mentor being a wise old man like Merlin or Ben, he should be a drunkard, because why not have a drunk as a mentor? Because it's funnier that way. And it's decidedly more Scottish. I'm joking. But yeah, so the mother has her own storyline. I did give her own story arc. So while Cormac is going off to rescue the world, she's kind of doing her own thing and trying to keep, because the village soon ends up having problems with the local laird, and she's got to come up with schemes and ideas to try to keep the village intact. So that's also a plot point. So yeah, so it's basically about a family trying to save the world and survive. And
would you say it's a more dark fantasy or high fantasy or some kind of mix? Or what would you most describe it closely?
I'm thinking about it.
Or just historical fantasy or something?
Okay, I'll try to be funny here and say yes. But
all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above, pretty much. With dark fantasy,
or kind of like this book.
Yeah, that's the prequel to this one.
Yeah.
Crown of Blood is the prequel to Brotherhood of the Gemstone. I wrote Gemstone first. Dan liked the appendixes and proposed, he suggested, why not write it or something, or publish the appendixes offhandedly. And then I basically showed him the various list of kings. He changed some of the things for the short stories. I adapted the book to that and ran with things. And so, yeah, the book became its own thing. Crown of Blood,
which you can get here. You can back it on the page. You can see here.
Yep.
As but digital, you can get it for $10, and then you can get the book itself. I think here, a signed one for $30.
Mm-hmm. For $30. The extra $5 will just pay for the shipping. So, yeah. But what I also now there's some characters from Crown of Blood will be appearing in Brotherhood of the Gemstone. One of the Elvish characters mentioned in one of the stories appears. The three crones will be appearing. There's a few other details and characters implied and hinted at or shown who will be appearing. And I've got one book I'm trying to get published for an indie publisher. The lead in there, or one of the leads, will be appearing as a major character in Gemstone. And in the second book. And two characters from that book will also be appearing will have cameos in book 3, which I've begun outlining. I need it outlined. And yeah, so it's an attempt to give Scotland a bit of her own Lord of the Rings. and just generally have a little fun with it and world build a more Celtic world. Because why not?
Yeah, you can say that about the names, the Celtic names.
Yeah. Which the book has a lot of.
Yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest.
I got to do more. I got to make sure I outline a glossary. Well, I got to get a glossary out for the words and names and whatnot. And I got to make sure I get everything in order for this. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Tom. I'm glad you think so. Yeah, the signed copy idea. I hope it's a good enough deal. But yeah, the Crown of Blood Part 2 for its part, which is the second part of this prequel, will be out in a few months. I'm hoping to release it around the same time as Gemstone. And this way people will get basically a 2-for-1 almost. Almost. Like just as they release it around the same time, and I use part 2 to market Gemstone.
Yeah, well. But you don't mean to
No, not with the crowdfund. The crowdfund is its own separate thing from that. That was bad wording on my part, which I do that too much. Now,
so probably to make it clear, you won't get the Brotherhood book with this crowdfund, right?
No, because I cannot provide something I don't already have, is what I'm thinking. Because if I promise this book and then I fail to deliver, that makes me a liar. And I think a certain amount of honesty on my part is key here. Because why should people trust me if, I break my word here? And my word must be my bond about this. And so when it comes to the crowdfund, you give me, or you guys give me the money, I must see to making sure, I get you the poster or the book or whatever, and I must deliver on making sure Gemstone gets published. Because this is a bit of a contract of sorts. And I could, yeah.
Well, the crowdfunds that I've backed before have been usually for the specific item, like say a comic. So they get the money, and then they draw it, and then they print it, and then they deliver it to the backer.
If people would prefer for me to offer up the book itself, like once it's published in March or June or something, I have no problem if people would prefer that. I'm not trying to be closed-minded or whatever. I'm trying to be open-minded about this thing. I'm just careful to promise something I don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, I've had times when these sort of promises were made to me and the person couldn't deliver, and I felt hurt. But in hindsight, I understand where they're coming from. They made a promise, but they couldn't deliver on it. It wasn't their fault.
Things happen.
Yeah,
things happen.
I'm just very careful. But if need be, if people say you should edit your crowdfund, include the signed copy of Brotherhood of the Gemstone, we want the book as part of the crowdfund. If people prefer that, they could say so in the comment section down below after this video. And
so is Defiance gonna print it, right?
Yeah, they are publishing and printing.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Right. So, I mean, personally, I would like that. I would back it. The book.
Okay, if you got the book itself.
Yeah. That would incentivize me to back it more.
All right, makes sense.
But that's you gotta figure that out. But
hey, no problem. Book's finished. It just needs editing. So
yeah. exactly. But it's
Uh,
it's usually how they go.
all
I
right.
mean,
If that's the case, then that's the case. I gotta, uh, you know,
right.
uh, go with the flow. So one of those things, maybe I'll just have to edit the Indiegogo and whatnot. I'm nervous about editing the Fund My Comic right now because it, that'll
Yeah.
mean Luke has
Yeah.
to,
Yeah. Yeah.
he gets put at the back of the queue. And
Right.
but here's the thing: my mentality is, with the Fund My Comic, I'll probably, when I'm like, I'd rather launch and then edit, and if need be, in this way, like, it's launched, it's public, there's just a note added after, and it doesn't get put back at the back of the queue or something to be published by Luke Stone.
Right.
So I'm not, because if you change it, it gets automatically, according to the AI, put to the back of the queue. But if it's launched, then you edit it, it stays launched, I think. So
Right.
yeah, so you see, this sort of advice is useful. I've been receiving a lot of it lately, and from
Isn't
you,
this
from others.
this is your first crowdfund, right?
Yep. I've considered. Well, I'm thinking if I ever do crowdfunds again after this, it would be only for about $500 or $600 American in the future, and that would just be for the editing and the cover design for the cover art.
Right.
And it'd be for books I publish myself. When it comes to Defiance, after this book, my hope is this book will make enough that I could just put my money back into it and back into Defiance. So I don't want to be crowdfunding any further Defiance Press books. I do want to work with them going forward. I love the company. I love the guys I talk to, but my mentality is, I would pay for this myself in its entirety, but the trouble is, well, I'm still paying off funerals, so I'm a little tight on finances. But after this, I want to mostly pay for things myself, so that people could just get the book and not have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Throw
Obviously.
money into a hole. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's, I'm uncomfortable with.
Yeah. I get it. It's a tricky thing. The whole crowdfund.
Yeah, but like I said, I may just do a few more.
I've seen I've seen some crowdfunds where someone's gotten sick and then it's delayed for like a year or more, or even goes bust and stuff like that. But that's in a here or there. So the perks, you have Crown of Blood, as we were talking about here.
Yep,
You can get
$10.
digital version.
Yep.
The first perk. Then there's the signed one here, a little bit further down. Signed Crown of Blood. 30. I see that it's you have shipping only to United States and Canada. So I guess.
Well, my thinking there was shipping to Europe and Asia is pretty expensive. Even
for sure.
Yeah, even shipping between Canada and US can get a little pricey at times.
But you can add that to the when you have the shipping thing. I think you can, however much it is, you can put it there. So if someone wants to pay that price for shipping, then they have the option to buy it.
Okay, I should consider that. All right.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not out of your pocket if they want to pay a big shipping cost.
All right.
Then they have the option to back you, to give you that.
All right.
So I would just say that that's a good thing to do, because
no, it's a good tip.
Even if it's it's a large amount or it's a big amount,
okay,
it's still an option for someone who wants to really back you.
All right. So I'll expand it to Europe then.
Because
I love
that's
Europe.
that's where I live, so I can't back anything if I don't even have the option.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I just meant many crowdfunds. It's
part of this stream,
it is expensive, but yeah.
Part of this stream is also getting the advice. So people can see that I'm fairly naive about and still kind of inexperienced here. I'm not going to lie or hide it. And, you know, like feedback like this is extremely important so that I can learn and better serve
you guys
people.
can sound off in the chat if you have suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I had someone who gave me a lot of tips on and critique on some of the plot and ideas in Gemstone. It was so cool. I really like the person who gave me all those critiques and tips, and it was
Nice.
really good. Yeah, like I'm blessed in that I have not had one single person offer like, you know, like cancel or attack. There's a few people who are left leaning who have taken a look at the book on Substack, the preview, because I've got 3 chapters.
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
we should put that up here somewhere.
I think I put it up there. But a few left-leaning people have read the preview and really liked it, and they didn't fully agree with some of the pro-regionalist, nationalistic themes, but they still liked it. So they were very kind, and I've had one person, I think he's left-leaning, come forward and offer advice on the marketing of the crowdfund. So I'm very blessed in that I've got people from all over, you know, all over the place, just coming forward and offering advice. And
so horrible to love one's nation.
yeah, I know, but
let's all just live in a puddle of.
Yeah, but this novel, and this is going to be something I'm probably going to use as a clip or something. I must stress, this is a very nationalistic book. This is meant to be a love letter to Scotland. So this is gonna be.
You should market to the Scots. I mean, there's got to be a lot of Scottish YouTubers and.
Well, I've been starting to approach them. I have one of my proofreaders for the book is Scottish, mostly because I wanted the opinion of a Scot, and he went gaga over the book. And he's been, well, for about a year, he's been messaging me constantly, and we chat a little often every few weeks. I actually want to send a copy of Gemstone to Neil Oliver, who's at GB News. I really, now this book is inspired by Scottish medieval history, and the one who got me into Scottish medieval history was Neil Oliver with his many documentaries about Scottish history. So, you know, like this book would never have been written. Neither would Crown of Blood if it wasn't for Neil Oliver and his beautiful documentaries, History of Scotland, season 1 and 2. So
nice.
I cannot stress enough that I would love to send him a copy with a fan letter just saying, I don't know, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because you got me into Scottish history, and this has been one of the most, I'm part Scottish, and like on my mother's side and on my dad's side, there's some Scottish and Irish ancestors alongside our French ones. And it has been one of the greatest joys these past 10 years to reconnect with that and also reconnect with our Gaelic side. So, yeah. Sorry, I get choked up about Scotland and France all the time.
Well, who needs France? Okay, let's get on with the next.
Hey, I thought
France is burning. Who cares? It's over.
This is fine. C'est correct.
France is burning. Help France. Oh, no. Anyway, we got some other books here. You want to talk about a little bit about them? There's the first book here on the perk list is Cross of Secrets. So what is that?
That book is the first book in a trilogy of sci-fi epic, like a sci-fi opera of sorts.
But this is not your book, right?
No, it's a friend of mine. She's a Franco-American. That is to say, she's American, but part French. Thérèse Judena. And
The author's name?
Yeah, that's her name, Thérèse, or Teresa, but she prefers Thérèse because she's part French. And the thing is,
well, I'm not going to be able to say it like that, but yeah, go ahead.
That's okay. Her trilogy, this was her first set of books, and I figured I should offer something that's not just fantasy fiction, just in case, because a lot of fantasy fans also like sci-fi, and it was a struggle to find someone who wrote something who'd be willing to help supply the books. She jumped on board at the idea. She's very, very Christian. She attends Latin Mass. She, I think, sews veils for women also as a living. She wrote this science fantasy series, and the idea is about an empire which is faltering. I think she took inspiration from the U.S. situation during the Biden years, and it's faltering, and it's coming close to splintering apart, like I guess in Star Wars during the Imperial period. But from the perspective, I think, more of a romance or romantic writer. So I figured, because I'm proofreading one of her books, her fantasy book, which is really good. It reads like a Miyazaki story because she's a Miyazaki fan. Her fantasy stories are very much Miyazaki styled in terms of the prose, the themes, and the ideas. Her science fantasy series, to my understanding, is much the same. So while there's a soap opera element, there's a science fantasy element. It's also like Miyazaki sci-fi, from what I understand. And I think that's pretty cool. But I like Miyazaki, so if he's got a lot of influence over her in terms of her art, and because, like I said, I'm reading one of her novels, and it really does read like a Miyazaki book, and she's a very talented writer. She's probably one of the top 5 best I've seen on Substack. She's also an editor and works for a publishing company I'm publishing a book through, a different one from Defiance Press. She works for a smaller press called Arlet Media. And her artist has supplied this art. So the art for the posters has been supplied to me by the artist. So I figured that was another good team up and link to make. She introduced me to the artist, who drew one picture for me for one of my projects. And yeah, hope that answers.
You mean this one?
Nope. The Mariolef one. It'd be for, that one.
Right.
That's the one her artist did. Her artist read a poem of mine, which is an epic poem I'm writing. The Lay of Marioleth. Think Baron and Luthien from Tolkien. And the thing is, you have a Greek who falls in love with an earth elf, that is to say, a kind of African elf but the problem is he runs into the Baron and Luthien problem of dad-in-law doesn't like him. But
right.
So I've made a few good connections and team-ups for this.
Right. So this is the first book, the Cross of Secrets, book 1.
Yeah.
That would be probably a good idea to have it say as well, book 1. of the
Yeah.
trilogies. People won't be. Anyway, so the second one is Trial by Time. So this is the second book I figure
Yep.
in the trilogy, and then the third one is Shards of Crystal.
Yeah.
And this
Talking
was
about
a sci-fi.
science fantasy.
Right.
Yeah. Like Star Wars. Apparently, she's a Star Wars and Miyazaki fan, so she's a bit of a nerd.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would think most people who write fantasy or sci-fi are some kind of
Nerd.
some kind of nerdish qualities
Yeah.
coming
Um,
from
and
somewhere.
now, when let me just scroll down on my end. Now, when she did when her artist did this drawing for me, part of it was painted, and for this is $35 for the mug, and of course I'd wrap it myself and make sure it's safe because mug, it's fragile. But the artist here took some inspiration from some African art, like for the leopard skin here, and these in the background, the maze here that you see kind of painted into the marble up top. And of course, you've got, I think it's seashells put into the arc ways here. But those seashells I did not ask for. I only said, these are elves, but they're African elves, and they're in a palace. That's my description. And she came up with all these visuals on her own from her own imagination. So the artist was pretty damn creative and ran the sketch by me twice.
Right.
And I wanted originally the mug. I wanted to make this into a mug for myself, but then I thought, well, maybe other people will like this. And I don't know if it's something people would want, but I think I like the art. So,
right.
Yeah.
So that's that's the mug perk. We had the signed Crown of Blood perk. So that would be this book.
Mm-hmm.
Signed.
Yep.
Which is an anthology book, by the way, fantasy book, which is like a prequel to the Gemstone book.
All right.
So you get a lot of information about the land.
Yep.
And the world.
And then we've almost finished one of the short stories for part 2, and we're almost half done another short story for part 2. So we're well underway for part 2.
So after the mug, we got Gemstone mug. So that would be
this beautiful art.
Yeah, this artist, this guy is fantastic. What was his name? The artist of this one, the Gemstone cover.
Here, let me just scroll down, and in the perks, I'll just I got it written down somewhere.
I didn't see the name anywhere.
I got it written down. Let me see.
No name.
I've got it written down. One sec. Just got to wait for it to load. Oh, no, that's not. Come on. Why is it slow with me? You know what? It'll be faster if I just go to my email.
Yeah, but it's not on the page, the name of the artist.
My computer is so slow today. All right. 1 second. And I'm so sorry about this. Okay. Let me just wait for it to load. It's clutch yet? Dog's snoring. Wow. Okay. I've almost got it. Let me just switch emails. I got to go to the Mycroft email. Let me see. Let's see.
Well, yeah, you have the
Let me see. One sec.
you have a poster of this as well. Later on, the
Yep.
front cover of the book, Brotherhood of the Gemstone.
Oh, here he is. His name is Yosi Saputra.
Nice. You'll
And
see.
let me see. One second. I'll just reply to an email.
Artist. So this is kind of like the poster perks come after the mug perks here. Or no, wait, you have oh, you can get the Crown of Blood mug as well. Gemstone mug and Crown of Blood mug. So is this Crown of Blood cover? Is it is it for this book? Is it for this book then?
That's art. Where is it? Okay, that's art we ended up ordering from him because we have plans when we get the second part finished to basically have art for each of the short stories and to roll them up into the this completed edition so that there's one or two of these drawings for each story. And we're going to do that. We're going to pay for that on our own. Like that'll be months away.
But is this going to be a cover for a book?
No, it's going to be just it's going to be a picture in the book.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about you were going to re-release this with
it
as cover art.
Yeah, but we had thought about that. We had discussed it, but then we decided we might just stick it just as a image in there. But it looks cool.
Yeah, it's a good-looking piece.
Yeah, the guy is really talented.
Yeah, I really like the gemstone cover. It looks really good.
This was the first thing he did for us, and it looks so beautiful.
Yeah,
he drew this.
Great.
Like he painted part of this and sketched it because he sketches and then he paints parts of it, and I'm just always impressed by his work.
So there were the mugs. Let's get back to this. So there was the mugs. Then you can get the sci-fi books, all of them at once signed. Then there's posters for, let's see, there's the third book poster.
Yeah, any of the cover books, like any of the covers, any of the art from this artist, I figured why not.
Is the Trial by Time and Veils of Hope poster the same thing? Because it has the same picture, by the way, on the perk.
Yeah, I think so. But Veil of Hope and Ghost Pit art, those are available. I don't have those books, but I think the books are written by someone else. But this was art the artist did, and sent me and said, "Yeah, okay, these are you can use these." Veil of Hope would be the first of these two. Then there's Ghost Pit, which is the second.
Which is the Trial by Time?
Trial by Time. That would be further up. I should have posted that. That would be the cover for the second book. I'll have to change that. My bad. $70 for the rejection of our Gyros art, which is just below these two posters.
Yeah.
You guys could get this as a full 18 by 32, I think, poster.
24.
Oh, 24 by 32. Whoops. What was I thinking?
18 by 24 is what you're
Yeah,
reading.
18 by 24. Wow. I sound like a drunk. 18 by 24. And
Wait, is the rejection of Argyros, is it this one, which I'm showing now?
No, it's the one below it.
Okay, so which one is this?
Ghost Pit.
Oh, okay, and this is
Veil of Hope.
Yeah, you should probably change the perk Veil of Hope poster to this one, to the real one, because
Gotcha.
now you
I'll
have two perks with the same image,
Yeah.
but it's not
I'm
correct for the other.
Needs to
Just
be-
noticed that, but anyway.
Campaign editor perks.
And then you can get the Brotherhood of Gemstone art poster, Crown of Blood, and then the Dark Spire, which is also an upcoming
Yep.
book of yours, of more
Yep.
of a Nordic fantasy, if I understood it correctly.
Yep. So I guess it's more your speed. It's I'm joking. Well,
Yeah.
Dark Spire Conspiracy has a funny backstory to it, because I posted a preview for Gemstone for the first chapter. People wanted the whole book put on Substack. I felt nervous about that, so I wrote Dark Spire instead to kind of distract. But then I decided I will start to slowly put in a few more chapters to Gemstone. People liked both. And by that time, I had finished Dark Spire Conspiracy, and I sent it off to a indie publisher, and they accepted it. And this is the cover design that Yossi made for us. And this is probably my favorite of the art he's done for us. It's just beautiful. And I'm sorry, I love it. And I love that he, like,
The Dark Spire
what's
one.
interesting is the Dark Spire Tower. I just simply said it's a dark tower in the distance. But what's so interesting is how I imagined it. And when I was writing it, he painted it that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, normally the artist draws it in a certain way, like the Crown of Blood poster. That's not how I imagined Padraig, but I like his image better than how I imagined. But the Dark Spire thing, this scene is a scene in the book, and he kind of captured the actual scene without me really describing it too much. So this is, if I could, down the road, one dream I have is, if I was to continue doing the crowdfunding, would be to write a whole new story and do an entire graphic novel series with him. He's proposed the idea once that we should get together and do a comic, like a bande dessinée series, like the Sumerian from Ablaze.
Yeah.
He likes that comic, and he suggested that sort of project. But that would be really expensive. But but like, you look at this art, it'd be kind of worth it because it's so damn beautiful. Sorry, I don't want to cuss, but it's just,
Tom agrees.
Yeah, beautiful art.
I also put the link for the
thank
Brotherhood of the Gemstone. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, this way people can preview it and see if they want to support this or not, because it should be entirely their choice.
There's quite a lot. There's 5 chapters there, so
Yep, 5 chapters, and
good reading over there.
Yeah, I hope
sign
so.
up for the Substack at the same time as well.
Yeah, because I'm often more over there than I am on YouTube, but I'm wanting to get about 3-4 videos out tomorrow if I can. We had drawn up some plans for several videos, but Dan's throat. Dan's been suffering from a strep throat for a week now. He's just started recovering, so he just got his voice back a little today, but his throat's still crap. So we're having to work with that or around that. But yeah, I don't know if this seems Nordic to you. Conan, because like I have to admit, I love the Volsung saga, and I love what little I've been looking up about Finnish mythology. So this is Dark
I like
Spire.
But actually, I kind of like the other two more. I like the Brotherhood the most.
Yeah,
and I like the Crown of Blood. I think the Crown of Blood really should be this Crown of Blood book's front cover.
Then we're gonna have to do that.
It's great looking, but the Dark Spire, it's great for me. It's just kind of in the middle there. It's kind of like it's a bit samey. It kind of misses something for me personally, but that's just me personally. It kind of could use.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a lot of just white. So
okay.
It seems in the middle there. It kind of seems.
Yeah. No, I love it. So
yeah. No, I love it.
So I'm naturally drawn to that. But the Gemstone one,
the Gemstone is it's phenomenal. So beautiful. The mountains, the sea.
You can almost see
Cormac looks great.
You can almost
character
see
design.
The birds flying down.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? You can almost imagine the birds just coming down to scoop up.
I was thinking there's no birds there.
You can almost imagine them.
You could add some.
Yeah. Cormac.
You could add some birdemic birds.
Yeah.
you know the world famous bad movie. Birdemic birds.
I've been thinking of asking this guy to do some art down the road and sell it as merch for the 2 Gemstone sequels that will be upcoming. So
definitely get the same guy who did this Yossi.
We don't work with him.
If he did this first, it's also symmetry. If you make 3 books, you have the same guy doing the 3 books, then they like hang together, so to speak. It's
we have now.
Beautiful.
What I love about him is he has a sort of Alan Howe type of style, and sort of.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Dan and I, because he's an Alan Howe fan, and Yossi is. I mean, we've talked to him a little bit. Dan and I have talked about it, and we've talked about maybe. We also want to work with him on a kind of Silmarillion project or 2. So we had thought about maybe bring him on board for a project involving that. And Yossi's actually been pushing for more projects with us. So we're not going to say no because he's so brilliant. I honestly love his work. And Yossi, he's a very friendly and warm guy. I just love all of his work. Dan found him though. Dan was the one who connected me with him, and since then,
nice. We should also check the trailer.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's play it.
Let's see. Let me present the screen. Share screen. Let's see. This one.
I love that part.
So there's the
Bloodstone gem.
yeah. I was gonna show it here as well. I made the trailer
Mm.
and the layout,
And
or
that's
the
why it's so
front,
beautiful.
the logo on the cover and stuff like that.
It's
I thought it looks good, but
it does.
yeah.
And the gemstone will not be appearing in either of the Crown of Bloods books, but Dan and I are working on other prequel books. So there's going to be a few other books we're going to work on after the two Crown of Bloods are released. So the idea will be to kind of showcase some of the backstories of some of the characters who appear in the book. And there will also be, the Bloodstone Gem appears in a French book series I wrote a while back. So I'm going to need to get that translated because it's a large fixture of so it plays a large role in my mythology. But it's one of many jewels like it, but it's probably the most vicious and dangerous. And is a very corruptive jewel.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom's a good buddy.
Thank you.
He's been helping market this and whatnot. He's someone I partner up with for, I guess, a joint channel of sorts, Alliance Authors. And
nice.
Yeah, and he's appeared a few times on my Brothers Krynn channel. And Dan and him cooperate together on a Alliance Authors Substack that they share, while I manage Brothers Krynn over on Substack. And yeah, so
let's check it one more time.
Okay.
Let's put it some more volume. Let's see.
I'm gonna mute myself. After seeing that, I think I'm going to have to do a whole lore deep dive into this podcast for my channel tomorrow. I really like this trailer. And what I mean by that is just seeing how each image seems to connect with the story of Gemstone. Because a lot of the images do connect very well with story beats, whatnot. But yeah, I'll have to clarify some of the stuff on the Indiegogo. Let me see, where is it? So I'm going to have to make sure I do that because I have to make sure it's clear for people because this is also about kind of, how do I put it? This is kind of also about making sure the service is clear and more accommodating and whatnot, because clarity, as you pointed out, is important. I'll actually do this. Let's see.
Oh, I'm muted. Nice. I've been talking here.
Oh, I
As I was saying, I wholeheartedly agree that this Crown of Blood book is a good book to get. I really like it so far, and we've been going through it on the Brothers Krynn channel,
yeah
which we will go, which is the next stream we will do. I
yeah
think.
it'll be chapter, or I should say, story 3 with Ringen, the
Yeah,
mad.
the man who thought himself king. I think.
Yeah. Um,
See
that's
if,
that's one of Dan's favorites. Um,
it's quite the long story, so it'll probably
Dan
be
wrote.
just the one.
There was a lot of, like, the plot outline for that one. I wrote most of that, but Dan helped outline a great deal and advised and directed and wrote
Right.
a good chunk. So this was a massively joint project, although I wrote most of it. And the man who fought himself king is one of Dan's favorites. I don't know why. Dan just likes all the insane characters in the book. Like,
I mean, those can be fun to write and read.
he likes that one in the Dweeb and the Achaeus stories. So he just likes the crazy kings the most.
Yeah. Well, you never know what happens with those kind of characters.
But I really like I like the Padrig, Kettle, and Simon stories in there. So, but I like Simon because I reference him a lot in Gemstone as a great king, and so there's several songs in Gemstone, and there's several points where the characters look back on Simon and say, "What would King Simon have done?" And
you're gonna have a character list, right?
Yeah, I'll work on that again. I thought I had completed it, but
should have for every story, so I can follow along better.
I'll make sure that
it's just like I said before on another stream. It's just the Celtic names. They're quite similar to each other, or the Scottish names, so they kind of blend. At least for me, maybe I'm just not used to those kind of stories.
No. I'm sure it happens with others.
So it's hard to remember. Or it's harder just to remember who was who.
Makes sense. I think, I'll have to include a dramatis personae, and I want to make sure all that is prepped up, and the family tree. It's got to be edited again, because for book 2 we have to add a bunch of family members and a bunch of stuff, so a lot more notes are being taken. Book 2 is turning into a bit of a monster. That's kicking our ass. It's kicking our rear end all over the floor. And so we're going to be having to expand some things. But we're going to, and I'm also hampered by the fact that I'm now in a course, a job training course. So,
yeah.
But on the bright side, we've got book 2 of Crown of Blood we have to deliver on, which I'm very excited. That's one I really want us to pay out of pocket and use the money we've been making from Crown of Blood, which is only a little, and put that money towards Crown of Blood Part 2. And then we can publish a collected edition, like release the 2 books as one like large tome, and the Part 2. But the larger tome, I want to include also a preview of chapter 1 of Gemstone and a few other things like that. Book 2 will be a little larger than book 1, I think. And yeah, but we've already contacted the editor for the first book. He's agreed. He's Daniel Riley. He's agreed to come back and edit book 2. He actually said, I would really love to come back and work on book 2 because I loved working on book 1. So we basically said, oh, great. This is a privilege. This is an honor to work with you. He's going to be editing an Irish novel of mine, which will hopefully be released for February, self-published.
You're going to be writing a book on every culture?
It seems that way.
Yeah, it does seem that way. The next is the Icelandic fantasy book.
No. Well, Scandinavian, that counts. Done.
Then next, Greenland.
No.
Caspian Sea.
Maybe. I hadn't even thought of that.
Hawaiian fantasy.
I didn't. The thought never even crossed my mind. Actually, we're looking at
Panama fantasy.
We're looking at Roman. We're looking at Greek with a novelization of the 12 Labors of Heracles. Which chapter 1 is available on my Substack. It's already gotten 500 views. It's my most popular fiction story there already. Chapter 2 will be out next week, and I love that story.
Hey, Lord of Light. What's this? On a completely off topic, and I found my copy of Marvel Conan #1.
Wow. Cool. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. You mean the the first issue of the 1970s. Yeah, but there's loads of Conan, so I was just figuring which one he means, but he must mean the Barry Windsor Smith first Conan comic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is quite pricey. Quite. I think it's like, is it like 500 or something?
I think so.
It go for a lot of money. The first one.
I really like Savage Sword.
Oh yeah, Savage Sword. Yeah, I was thinking we could maybe do a review stream of going through Savage Sword stories. Because there's a lot of stories, so you can go in order in the books, like a couple of stories.
I'd love that. That'd be cool. Savage Sword and Dark Horse Conan are the benchmark.
Good grade, 5.5 raw copy. Yeah.
Wow.
It must be hard to get a pristine copy of, or well, not perfect, obviously, because it's from the 70s already. So hard to get a really great copy. It probably costs an insane amounts. Yeah. If there was one. But yeah, that's a great find, Lord Light.
Mm-hmm.
That is. But yeah, guys, go check out the Brotherhood of the Gemstone crowdfund here on Indiegogo. Like we said, just quickly rehashing the whole thing is the brothers are crowdfunding to help pay for the publishing by Defiance Press for the book itself. And the different perks here you can chip in is the Crown of Blood, which I showed. This one, you can get it either a digital version, or you can get the book itself down here, signed Crown of Blood, as you can see here. Then there's some science fiction book by a different author called Therese, I think was her name.
Most people call her that. So
Yeah,
it
so there's
works.
a trilogy of her books you can order to back. Then there's some mugs here. Then there's the signed all three book of the science fiction trilogy. Then we have some posters. Posters here all the way to the end. Also, you can get the signed science fiction trilogy plus Crown of Blood for $75,
Yep.
which is not much for 4 books. So that's a lot of it's a lot of books. Uh,
That's the
but
idea.
yeah, definitely, guys, check it out. Great looking art, and I think there's not much else here to
Nope.
say. So we can
I'll have to edit
mix
the. I'll have to edit
mix
the Indiegogo to include all the suggestions.
right. So I think we'll just end on the
Ooh.
video once more for you guys to get that nice feeling, and we'll see you guys on the next stream. I think it's going to be over on Brothers Krynn with the Crown of Blood, and then we should really start do the Savage Sword thing, because that will be really fun to just easily throw in there here and there, I would say. Okay, guys, see you on the next video. Hail Conan.